Hey dudes, this is HDGW2, my name's Rapsack.
And my name is Oriel.
And as you may well know, we haven't been back with the cast for some time, so we're going to get back into the games. So we got a game here between Genesis Gaming coming up against, how do we say this? Wimwilki, is that look correct to you?
I believe that's correct enough for
anyway,
analysis.
Genesis, the blue team, is going to be rocking a dual Guardian, whereas a Mesmer, an Engineer, and an Ellie, while Wimwilki is looking at a Thief, Necro, Engie, and a dual Mesmer, my favourite.
So we've got two maybe defensive players against two high burst.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this one turns out. Sweet, alright.
So we're actually on Kylo here, so we've got the point of view of the Guardian. And it looks like we're rocking a 2H hammer.
He's got a few shouts there. He's going for a bit of a shout build. I guess that's sort of, high boon offensive.
Yeah, so you get those boons, and those boons will be healing you as well as the allies you have near you as well.
Spec into that trait. Alright, we've got a dual Guardian up on here. The other one's rocking Sword and Shield. These guys are going to have some crazy knockbacks. He's got that stability, which he should have popped with that shout, which is going to give him great point defense, but they still managed to capture this point.
There we go now, all shouts were popped just then, so he's giving his allies some healing as well, and we can see that happening.
Got a ton of boons. It's a great way for him to get a lot of HP back, but at the same time he's not going to have much to deal with. All his cooldowns are used, so he's just basically relying on his Sword and Shield as well as his hammer.
So we can see the windmill as well as the mansion capped respectively for the teams that are closest there. So
this Mesmer getting dropped real quick, and he looks like he's going to go down. Although we do see on the minimap, we see that the Necro has actually taken out Genesis's Engie. So we've got an Engie down on either team, although they are up a player, and it is reflected in the point score with about a 5 point
we can see
bonus.
those treb shots coming in there, just being able to dodge roll that, and perhaps even again coming in. So
look at that. Oh, did it again.
Yep, that's good. That's good dodging of the treb, and they could just really keep this going.
I mean, there's two of them on here. It's kind of funny, but I mean, they don't really need two, do they? One could hop off, and this guy could dodge roll all day.
Interesting to note that we were talking about the boon healing before, again being able to dodge that treb shot. The boon healing before, now you can see he's actually using the Sword and Shield, which on those abilities you don't get many boons, so perhaps going not as best as possible to be using the traits that the Guardian is. What do you think about that?
I don't know, I really like the hammer just because the stability works so well with that area denial that comes with it. I guess he could be using a better combo, something that was a bit more, I guess, like he could be using a staff or something like that, but it's just not something we see in sPvP. Really needs a bit of tweaking.
You can see this Mesmer coming back up again. The Guardian using all of his shouts as well as he's using all of his F1 through F3 abilities to just defend and heal as much as possible.
And I'm actually curious to see the elite skill of this Mesmer, because I don't think we've seen it before. Is he dropping Time Warp, or is he going to go for the Mower? Because we haven't seen any Mower action yet, just yet.
That is true. The Guardian here swapping back to the one-hand shield combination here.
Took a lot of burst there.
Putting down the blind on the, and you can see the pushback as well on number 5 there.
Doing such a good job, and that Thief chucking in a couple of arrows, but he's doing a good job of blocking them. Oh, he's dropping his ult. Oh, and he gets pulled out of the circle and he gets capped. That's something we would not have seen before, guys. That recent nerf to the stability on the tome is a huge thing. Before it was just like some defensive rock. You could not be moved, and you could not be pretty much out DPS'd.
You were basically glued to the ground during the ultimate, but we can see that's not the case anymore.
I believe it was that Scorpion wire that pulled him out. We did see the other Guardian just run in there and just roll in and grab the point real quick. We do see the point. It is still in Genesis's favor, or is it just... it's just getting contested now.
You can see both being able to keep the mansion and the windmill respectively still, so very tight game so far. Points are almost exactly the same.
I was just about to say, check out that point score, guys. This is not something you see, and especially not on Kylo. Well, as of recently, I feel like I've seen a couple matches. There was one between SS and Paradigm. They did a really sort of tight gameplay where there's a lot of Mesmer portaling back from the point, from the outer points, and pushing it on the middle one up here on Cocktail.
These Guardians here just tag teaming it. As soon as one goes down, the next one is back up here, putting pressure back onto the Mesmer that's trying to take the point, as well as the Thief.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I guess seeing a Hammer Guardian, it's something we've seen earlier on. It was quite a... I guess you couldn't really consider it meta back in the day, but quite early stages of the game, Guardian with Hammer was quite popular for that area denial.
Yeah, it's very good at pushing people off the point, being able to cap it, because we know the best place to fight someone that is defending a point is on top of the point.
We've seen a bit of redux. He's taking a couple of shots here. Looks like they're coming from both sides, friendly and enemy fire. That one's not going to hurt him at all.
We can see the mansion being capped by the red team now, so Genesis just being able to lose that.
Yes, and they've got both of those outer points, which is probably not the best situation for them to be in, just because they're going to have to split their forces up.
It's very hard to defend both at the same time. What you want to do is keep either the windmill or whichever one's closest to your team's respawn, as well as the clock tower.
I don't know. I mean, they do have two mesmers, and if they are using portals, I haven't seen it yet. It could be actually quite a good strategy for them to be able to jump into the middle, put a bit of pressure on this point, as we have been seeing, and then snap back to those outer regions.
Well, yeah, I guess the benefit of that would be you could get to the enemy's treb quite quickly, being able to immobilize that.
Even just supporting the mid, we've seen players being able to sort of jump up the little, it's on the other side, but you can sort of jump up the houses and get up to the midpoint real quick and pull it right back to, say, the windmill.
Heading up to the windmill here, being able to cap that, there's no one there, so...
Probably something they should have kept an eye on. I guess that's just something that comes with team communication.
Well, we can see the kill log on the side there. A lot of Genesis team members have gone down. So I believe the Guardian might be one of the...
probably didn't have much health. Probably not have much help taking out people on this point, or just having that sort of map coverage.
Getting the windmill now, heading back up to the clock tower to support his teammates. No doubt the other Guardian will be up there already defending him. We can see the use of the...
This is what I was talking about, and that was a pretty bad mistake there by missing that jump.
I was going to say I hadn't seen that before, but being able to use the terrain to get up to the clock tower a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They've been defending those outer points and pushing in from the middle, and then you can just portal right back down, and it's something pretty good to see in sort of the more high-level play, but unfortunately he did just miss that jump, which was a little bit of a shocker.
If you guys noticed just there, moving up to the treb there, he was able to use his leap ability on the two-handed hammer, as well as comboing that with the shield and sword 2 ability, which will give you that kind of flash and blind to the enemy player. So good mobility use.
You're going to knock him down and then flash right to him, and quite offensive. Going to be able to stay in your face of the opponent while taking them out.
Looks heading up to the mansion here, the only point that's still being held by the red team.
It looks like it's all happening at the Trebs at the moment. I don't know why he said not going to cap that. Oh, it looks like he's got a teammate going to do that for him instead. He's going to intercept this NG here. He's not going to be having a good time. He looked like he may have tried to retreat to that point, but he's going to get hunted down by these two Guardians.
The burn on the F1 Guardian ability does a huge amount of damage over time, which is one of the stronger offensive abilities that he might have, being a more defensive-oriented player.
Yeah, it's great for chasing that way. Even if you're getting a hit in just every few seconds, at least you're going to be able to consistently apply that burning, doing a lot of damage.
That's right. So moving back up to the windmill here, which was recently taken over by the red team. Will kill me? I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but
I just want to say that this Guardian is probably the most roamiest Guardian I've ever seen. I guess that comes with the territory of being a very aggressive Guardian with the sort of the hammer and the sword and shield, using those sort of in-your-face abilities.
Not your typical point defender then, I take it.
Yeah, probably not so much. I mean, it has been working out for them so far. I mean, it has its ups and downs, and the score is really damn even, although they are staging a bit of a comeback at the moment. Gonna have to see what happens over at the mansion. That's really going to turn the tides if they were able to get that.
Looks like he's heading back up to the... Oh, he might be going to the mansion now, or maybe going through the clock tower. There we go. No, yeah.
That clock tower looks like it's all happening up here. It's funny how you have to walk right around up these stairs if you just want to get into the middle there.
Yeah, we see so many people trying to just jump over. You see, being able to use that number 5 ability on the shield pushes, and comboing it up with the two-handed hammer there, we can see pushing him right off of the point.
And then he's going to have to run up the stairs and come back in the middle again.
That's right, and that illusion not going to be helping out the cap.
Yeah, it's quite easy to tell those staff illusions from one another. You really want to sort of shatter them quite often. And he did shatter them there a little bit, but I think a couple of them went down to the AoE, as well as just this Guardian popping all of those boons, which are going to give him a ton of HP.
As well as the ally that's there as well, so, sharing those boons around, showing the love of the boons isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, this Mesmer just hasn't been having the best of times against his Guardians on the midpoint. But then again, I guess he is sort of a roamerish role.
Yeah, sort of a hybrid between what you would call probably more of a DPS-oriented Guardian and then a point-defending Guardian. So
it's really funny how these Guardians, every time they go into the middle, they lose the outer points, and it seems to me that sort of It's almost better if they're roaming and if they're sort of spread out, one on the match and one on the windmill.
I haven't been able to pick up that, so that's a good point. I guess, that if you think about the enemy team, they've got 2 Mesmers on there, so there's a lot of damage output. The 2 Guardians, which are probably the most defense-orientated players on Genesis's team.
So they're a good match.
It's kind of weighing each other out.
But then at the same time, you've got more movability on the Mesmer, I would probably have to say, which is going to give them a slight favour, and we have been seeing that. I guess it's reflected in the score. We'll have to see if these guys can turn something around in the end.
Heading back up to the clock tower here, we can see that the
Mesmer's
back
Guardians.
up here. We know what's going to happen here.
And you see that Shatter doing some great bursts, but at the same time, he's just on it. He's going to get those cooldowns used, and he's going to get a ton of buffs, healing his ally and himself. I'm going to take him out once again.
Those boons again, he's using all of the shouts possible when he's coming up against any opponent really is, which is really what you want to do when you have this type of Guardian build. He's been able to pop those shouts as quick as possible. Obviously he spec'd into it, so the cooldown on the shouts is also going to be reduced a little bit.
And that's probably the first time that they haven't lost both of their points from both those Guardians being up in the mid. But we do see this point, it's just getting contested right now, so they're doing a pretty good job. They could be at a bit of a comeback here. This is the first time where sort of Blue has taken over the score in pretty much the entire game. They've been trailing by about 10 points.
And it looks like we could have a 3-cap here, so this will be a little bit interesting.
They may be just going to come in and sneak the win out of this. I can't believe it. It's pretty crazy. We're going to see a bit of damage come down.
Just taking down that engineer there, it looked like.
And the Treb is going to go down as well. That means they're going to have a great standing in the midpoint. And this is what you were saying before, if they're able to control their home point, if they're able to grab the mansion as well as having that midpoint, they're going to be doing really good. They're going to get that lead going to be spreading out a bit more.
Yeah, I would say that would be a better position than having the two.
He's going to drop those cooldowns again. This is going to be the final stand for the red team here. They were doing so well the entire game. Splitting up was definitely their advantage. Their movement ability was definitely going to give them the edge. But as soon as the Guardians came into range of those Mesmers, looks like it's all over.
Definitely. Those 2 Guardians, just too much area of denial on this point here. You can see wasn't even contested by the red team. So there we go.
This is pretty cool. I'd never seen a roaming Guardian sort of become almost the winning strategy for a team. It's something that's quite surprised me, actually. Maybe we'll see some more of that in the future. And Guardian players, you'll never have to stay on a point ever again. Could this possibly be the case?
I think so. Look, I mean, there's a lot of viability in this kind of roaming Guardian. Very defensive, has some abilities that can output a lot of damage, that burning F1. So we could see some more of this in the future.
I would like to. Anyway, that's enough from us. We'll see you next time.